Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 19th day of February 2024. I hope you had a excellent weekend and that you were safe and healthy and your family was also safe and healthy this weekend. Happy Monday to you. Those of you that are off for President's Day like myself, enjoy it. It goes by fast. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are out here trying to save lives. And double blessings on the family of the two officers and the first responder that was the fireman that were killed in Burnsville, Minnesota this past weekend, responding to a domestic dispute. Double blessings on those families and peace be rest upon those people that passed away. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People who are also victims of pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery, prostitution, and child prostitution. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create this industry. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the United States of America and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. I just want to say one thing about my intro. I just want to let people know, and some of y'all, a lot of y'all, most of y'all, I say 98% of y'all are fine. But there's a couple of y'all that always complain about the intro. And you know why people complain about the intro? Because I'm stepping on their toes in some of the things I say about the perpetrators. You're giving yourselves away. Anyway, let's talk about the Knicks. So the next game the Knicks play is the 22nd of February. Now, I'm expecting Julius Randle to be able to return between this Thursday and the 29th of February, which is going to be a week from Thursday. I'm expecting him to be able to return based on the fact that he's really working out and he's getting himself ready. It's just a question of how effective the shoulder will be, as well as will he do any long-term damage to himself by playing. That we don't know yet, and the Knicks will let us know hopefully soon because he was reevaluated late last week. So we're hoping he can return between the 22nd and February 29th. Now, and somebody has tried to tell me it was the 28th of February. Many of y'all maybe not know this is leap year, so this is 29th of February this year. So I'm hoping he returns. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in that period. Now the Knicks are going to need in that 5 game period. They're going to be starting Precious, Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and Donte DiVincenzo. They're going to have a bench of Jericho Sims at the 5, Burks, Bogdanovich, and Deuce. This is obviously not our optimal team, but because of the way Brunson, Donte, Hart, and Precious have been playing, I'm expecting them to be able to be in every game to win it, to be able to have a chance to win every game of the 5 games. Now, the 5 games they've been playing at Philadelphia this Thursday. Then they have a 4 game homestand: Boston, Detroit, New Orleans, Golden State, and then that takes you to the 29th of February. March the 3rd, they play at Cleveland on ESPN at 7 o'clock. I'm hoping Julius is back at that time. I'm pretty confident he will be. And so we'll get Ju back. And that would move that would move Precious back to the bench. And so you get Ju, Hartenstein, Hart, Donte, and Brunson. Well, now you'll have Precious leading the bench crew instead of Sims. Then you got Precious, Burks, Bogy, and Deuce. I like that crew. I like the strength of that crew. We'll be all right until we can get back OG and Mitchell Robinson. I'm hoping by March the 8th, a Friday at home against Orlando, we can get those 2 guys back. If that be the case, the Knicks will be in good shape. But the key thing is, can the Knicks sustain themselves or hold on with Precious, Hartenstein, Hart, Brunson, and Donte? I think they can. But the problem is the bench. Now, let's get something clear here about Quentin Grimes that I think a lot of you don't understand. I tried to explain it last week. Some of you caught it, some of you didn't, so let's say it again. Quentin Grimes was not starting for the Knicks, and he had been starting all last year and part of this year. Quentin Grimes is still developing, but his defense is elite. So the Knicks could play well, or were playing well, with him starting at the 2, but they playing better with Donte starting at the 2 because Donte is in his prime, and as you can see, shooting the lights out, and he plays really good defense also. So Quentin wanted to start. They just had an issue with Emmanuel Quickly not signing his extension because he wanted to start, and he knew that wasn't going to happen because they just signed Jalen Brunson. So they traded Quickly. So now with Grimes in the same position, they traded Grimes. And they now can look for a bigger fish, Mikal Bridges, in the summer, okay, and see if they can get with the $29 million they're going to have available. So you have a situation where Grimes was being traded because he wasn't going to start, and he wanted to start, and we don't know if he's going to sign an extension as a backup. So he had to be traded. So while they can get money for him that will help for a bigger fish, they did it. So now you can turn Grimes into maybe Mikal Bridges. For some of you, I don't think it's going to be Donovan Mitchell, but for some of you thinking Donovan Mitchell, you can turn him into Donovan Mitchell. But it's going to cost you Donovan Mitchell a lot more than that. Donovan Mitchell will cost you Donte, and it will cost you Mitchell Robinson, because those are the two players that Cleveland would want plus draft capital. So if you want to trade, if you're so desperate to get Donovan Mitchell, you're ready to trade the hottest shooting 2 guard in the NBA right now, it's going to cost you that. And one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA, it's going to cost you that to get Donovan Mitchell. That's another story, though. But the Knicks are in position to obtain players like that come this summer. So for now, we just need them to see if we can not just tread water. They got to do a little better than that, okay? Out of these next 5 games, Philly, Boston, Detroit, New Orleans, and Golden State, I think they should win 3. They got to win 3 of them and come 3-2 at the end of the 5 games. If they could do that, they can keep pace a little bit in the East. Okay. So, and then when Julius returns, we got him coming, an all-star coming back, and then you can put Precious on the bench, unless you want to start Precious at the 3. I don't think Tom Thibodeau wants to do that. He's going to start Josh Hart, and I know he's going to start Josh Hart. So Josh Hart will stay in the starting lineup until OG returns. When OG returns, Josh Hart comes back to the bench, and then the Knicks become lethal because you got Precious, then you got Hart. Now, I don't know what Tibbs is going to do with Burks and Bogdanovich and Deuce. I'd like to keep Deuce there because of his defense and because now he can shoot versus 2 guys that can't play defense and sometimes can shoot. But we'll see. I don't know what he's going to do. But at that point, our bench should be back to lethal. At that point, when you add back Josh Hart, you add back Precious Achiuwa, and then you're going to get Mitchell Robinson in there. Then the Knicks will be lethal. The question is, how long will it take to get to that? So I'm hoping that they can get to it by March the 8th. But in the meantime, I'm thinking we're going to get Julius Randle back, and you'll have a Julius, and you'll have a Brunson, and you'll have a Hartenstein, and you got Donte. You got a nice team. You could do something. So I'm thinking by the 29th of February, we should have that team. But until then, they're going to have to play with just, like I said, Precious, Hartenstein, Hart, Brunson, and Donte. And then you're going to have Deuce, Bogy, Burks, and Sims. Our bench is weaker without Grimes, period. It's weaker defensively, especially without Grimes. But as I said, we can't, for all of you that like to live in the past and go back to try to blame people because that's what you do, go ahead and do that. But that's done. So we move forward. Now we got to go with the bench what we got, and we got to hope these guys can tread water until the troops come back. Like I said, I believe the starting 5 can. And I know Deuce is going to come into play. And I know Sims could play defense. He knows the Tibbs system. I'm not still sold on Burks and Bogdanovich yet. I'm not sold on them. And we're going to see. They're going to be tested because we're going to see. And the issue, of course, as I mentioned, is on the defensive end. You got to get stops. Okay, here we are, stretch run of the playoffs right now. This is the stretch run. 27 games left. Okay, so you got to now start to get into playoff mode. You got to get stops. Okay, the first unit can do it, but as we know, it's not good to play them 40 minutes a night. It's good to get them 35, 32, And you can do that, and you can hold on until Drew comes back. Then he can start playing his 35 minutes. You can give Precious some, time at the 5, the 4, and sometimes the 3. I think you can play him at the 3. I don't know if Tibbs will do that, but Precious has become, to me, the latest revelation aside from Hartenstein for the Knicks. So you got to utilize, and I believe Tibbs is going to utilize him. So like I said, when Drew comes back, we become that much stronger. You got Jalen Brunson, who to me is an All-NBA point guard. And so with the addition of these other guys, I think we'll be in good shape. So let's just hope that the starting 5 that we're going to see Thursday night, like I said, Precious, Hartenstein, Brunson, and Donte, can hold it down. I'm very confident they can. I'm very confident. And I'm confident because I call them the Villanova triplets. They know how to play the game, and they all know Tibbs' style of game. We know Hartenstein's a roughneck. Now his Achilles is going to be feeling better, and then we got our revelation in Precious Achiuwa, who's really, I'm not worried about him. So we'll be okay. The bench is going to be the problem. We're going to see how this bench holds up without our guys back, and that's going to be where the key here is. Not only how many points they score, but how many points they give up. That's what we got to see. So it's no good for Bogy and Burks to get 20 apiece, but gave up 30. See, it's no good. Okay, so you got to play defense. In Detroit, they can put up 20 points a game. Great. Detroit won 7 games. This ain't Detroit. This is MSG. You playing for the Knicks now. This is the league, and you got to get stops. We're a playoff team. So we're going to see how this works. To me, that's the biggest concern. Will they get stops? And so we'll find out. Like I said, I trust Sims and I trust Deuce because they've been in the system a while. I'm not sure about Burks and Bogy at all. At all. Burks 2 years ago may not be the Burks you getting now. Okay, we're gonna find out. Okay, Bogdanovich just can't play defense. Period. End of story. Can't. So we're going to see how this works out. But if he comes on with them 3 guys, you got 3 guys with him that can D up. Okay? And if you add Precious to that, yeah, okay, you should be all right. But I'm very concerned if you get Bogy and Burks on the floor with Brunson. You are giving up a lot on defense right there. Okay? And that's my concern. But we'll see as we come to Thursday. But for now, I think they can hold out. I think they could get 3 and 2 in this next 5 without Julius. And then you get a healthy Julius back. To me, you start the juggernaut is starting to form again. And then when OG steps on that court again healthy, the juggernaut is back. Okay, so there's only 27 games left. This 27 games is going to go by fast, and it's going to be furious, and it's going to be intense, and it's going to be a dogfight in the East. Okay, so that's why we're trying to get our troops back as soon as we can. I'm thinking March 8th we'll have everybody back, but we'll see. It's not that far off. But March 8th, between now and March 8th, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games out of the 27. Then you got a stretch of just 20 games left. So it's going to be tight. We'll see what happens. But the Knicks are in the fight. This is a Tibbs coach team. They're going to be fighting 48 minutes every night. And I'm glad we got that. We can count on that. Anyway, you all enjoy your Monday. We'll talk again. Shalom.